Hi everyone, I'm Mandy Hudson. I'm an educator and part of the Education and Training Unit at Eastern Domestic Violence Service. I'm here representing the HaiR-3Rs program today, and I'm going to do a short session for you on how to help clients experiencing family violence. I want to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land that we meet on and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Who are we? Well, the HaiR-3Rs program is a family violence training program for salon professionals developed by Eastern Domestic Violence Service, a leading specialist family violence service in Victoria working with women, children, pets, and other animals. Who are salon professionals? We use that term really broadly to encompass a number of people working in the hair and beauty industry. Hairdressers, barbers, beauty therapists, nail technicians, makeup artists, masseurs, spray tan technicians, waxers, laser hair removal technicians, and skin therapists, just to name some. Why do we work with you, and why do we think you're so important to be part of this program? Because research shows that women experiencing family violence are way more likely to turn to someone they trust, like you. 68% choose their salon professional because of the relationship they have with you, and 84% trust their salon professional's support. You are skilled and experienced listeners, but I'm not telling you anything new there. Why now? Why do this training and why know about this now during COVID-19? Because we know that the research shows that there has been significant increase in family violence during this time. Already, the Australian Institute of Criminology has done some research where they surveyed 15,000 Australian women during the pandemic and found that almost 1 in 10 Australian women in a relationship have experienced family violence during this time, and 1/3 of them, of those women, experienced family violence for the very first time. Salons have been able to remain open during much of the restrictions, making them critical safe spaces for clients experiencing family violence to be away from the person using the violence and tell someone about what's happening at home. So, what is family violence? The term family violence is a broad term and has been used to describe acts of violence between family members, including intimate relationships, including adult and adolescents, parent and child, including adult children, caretakers or partners against elders, and siblings. We know it occurs within marriage and de facto relationships, including same-sex relationships, between family members, including family of origin and family of choice, couples who are separated or divorced, and even within shared households. So this is an important definition. We know that relationships go through conflict, and that happens often in relationships. It does not mean it's family violence. What sets family violence apart from relationship conflict is that it is an abuse of power and control where a person chooses to use violence, threats, force, or intimidation in an ongoing and actually often escalating way. Family violence is used to control and manipulate a partner, ex-partner, or any family member, causing them to fear for their safety and well-being. So those 3 points are really key to defining family violence. Abuse of power and control that is done in an ongoing and often escalating way where someone fears for their safety and well-being. There are lots of types of family violence, and probably you may have heard of physical and sexual because people talk about those types. But there's intimidation and controlling behaviours. There's verbal, emotional, social, where someone may isolate someone from their family and friends. Physical, financial, sexual, spiritual or religious, where someone insists on someone carrying on their religious or spiritual beliefs, even if it's not the woman's spiritual or religious beliefs. You heard me acknowledge pets in the beginning, and we know that pets are often in the mix of family violence. And when pets are being hurt or injured, we know women are at much higher risk of serious injury or death. Stalking, particularly through the different forms of technology that exist these days, spousal homicide and reproductive violence are all types of family violence. In terms of during this time of COVID, the types of family violence or the tactics used by a perpetrator might be withholding necessary items such as food, medicine or disinfectants, using misinformation about COVID to control or frighten a person, trying to gain or increase control over a family's finances, prevent victim survivors from seeking medical attention if they have symptoms, isolating victim survivors within their own home by forcing them into specific spaces or disabling their mobility devices, or using COVID-19 to excuse, blame or justify abusive or violent behaviour. For you, in a salon setting, these may be things that you have already seen or you may notice. Someone having difficulty sitting or lying on a beauty bed or treatment table because of the injuries they may have sustained. Someone showing strong emotions or behaviour that seems out of character from what you know of them. Worry that their partner will be upset about the cost of a service or wanting to pay in different ways. Saying their partner won't let them change their appearance or try certain treatments. Perhaps they have defensive wounds or cuts on their hands, or their partner always accompanies them to your salon or waits in the car. They just may be some of the warning signs. This program that we run is called Recognise, Respond and Refer, the 3 Rs, because that's what we want people like you to be able to do. Recognise, being aware of and able to spot the signs of family violence, especially in your salon setting. Respond, responding safely and appropriately to disclosures of family violence. And refer, referring the client to the local family violence service for professional help and support. In terms of tips for you to help clients experiencing family violence, listen. It's okay if you don't know what to say or do at this point. It's enough to listen. It may be the first time that she's ever had anyone do that for her. Believe. Many clients don't disclose family violence for fear of not being believed. Saying I believe you can be such a powerful thing. Knowing where to refer. Know your local family violence service. Contact them, find out who they are and ask them for materials to keep in the salon. Have the contact details in staff areas. And invest in training. So if you're a salon owner, empower your staff with skills and confidence to help clients dealing with family violence by booking one of our HaiR-3Rs trainings. What are our trainings? Well, there's a group of happy campers right there who did some training. 3-hour training covering those 3 Rs, run live, online via Zoom during COVID, minimum of 5 people in a group, maximum of 15, open to salon professionals and students across Australia. Free training available for salons in Victoria. And to date, we have trained over 700 salon professionals. For more information, there's some info for how to book. And in terms of self-care, because your safety is important, know the limits of your role. We're not expecting you to be a counsellor. We don't want you to pressure your client to leave the relationship, and we don't want you to look after them on their own. But do know your local family violence services and know that they're staffed with trained personnel to offer counselling to the victim survivors and help to ensure their safety. For you, at any time, if you feel like you need support or debriefing because you're feeling distressed, or you just need to get some answers about someone you might be worried about, 1-800-RESPECT is a 24/7 phone counselling service for anyone responding to family violence, or for someone, as I said, who wants to get some answers about a client they may be worried about. Well, thank you for listening. For more tips on how you can help, go to Cut Out Family Violence or follow us on social media.